Southern California Prep Insider is brought to you by Toyota Dealers of San Diego.
Media day here continues as the head coach of SFC says, quote, Noah, I'm glad you graduated after last season. Coach, congratulations. You are in the finals. Kind of just tell us the team's emotions over the weekend going into this week.
Yeah, I think this team is a team that's kind of gained belief as we've gone along, and a team that, we graduated the senior class last year that was really talented and a little unsure of who we were and what the identity was, and I think it was kind of a capstone of winning the semifinal of like, okay, we're a good football team, and finally believing that we belong in this environment and overcome a ton of adversity to get here, and so they're fired up.
So tell us a little bit, I know you've just got a chance to break into the film, that kind of stuff, but what are you going to see this weekend in the game?
Honestly, it's a battle of two old school football teams. Like, if there's 3 passes thrown, and people might be in shock. And so they're really good. They're disciplined. They believe in their identity and what they're going to do, and they do it really, really well. And so I wish I could be a fan sitting in the stands and watching it because it's kind of football I like. But I think that's kind of what you're going to see is that old school mentality.
No Dimitri Washington, and you've played so many tough teams throughout the season. I mean, Bishops, Torrey Pines, Olympia, all divisions ahead of you. Talk about what that experience has been like, playing like your star player and still being successful and playing throughout those tough teams throughout the season, and how that's going to affect your play on this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, losing Dimitri and honestly 2 of our other best players in similar weeks right in a row, I think kind of shook the core of our team a little bit for a couple weeks, and losing it to teams like Torrey Pines and Bishop Diego and some of the big teams that we played Olympian, it kind of rattled us a little bit, and it took about 4 weeks to galvanize that identity back and for young kids to realize, like, hey, we can compete, we can get after it. It just takes effort and discipline. And to their credit, the guys that got hurt, Dimitri, still one of our team captains, and he's been there every day, driving, rooting, leading, coaching, and I think that's been a big part of why we've been successful too.
And you kind of talk about getting galvanized. You are almost always the David versus the Goliath. You take on the Torrey Pines, you beat them last year, you take on these bigger schools, and you always are successful. How do you do it?
It's about the kids. The kids, they believe in what we talk about. They believe in core values like toughness and discipline and overcoming adversity. And they're really smart kids that learn a lot of football as the season goes on. And I think those attributes allow us to be able to compete at a higher level than maybe we should from a talent perspective. And they love the challenge. Like, if you see our locker room before playing at one of these bigger schools, Olympian, or our kids love it. They know they might take a loss or a thumping, but they want that challenge. So
I think the last thing is just, best of luck. Media can never be biased, but I know that Noah and you have now personal interactions and whatnot. But it is always just amazing to see who rises to be the cream of the crop from the small schools. There's one every year, so congratulations on representing Coastal and the small schools. Coach, best of luck.
thank you.
Friday? Saturday at noon.
Yep.
Saturday at noon here at Southwestern. Come pack the stands. We just got a tour of the venue. You got that little goosebumps on the back of your neck seeing the empty football stadium, the calm before the storm. We will see you there, sports fans.